Hey there, my name is James Gurney, and this is called Chalk Talk number 1. This is the first time I've tried a Chalk Talk, and we'll see how you like it. I'll be talking about two things: state mottos and bubble lettering, and also another kind of lettering. I know a lot of you guys, when you're in school, you have two main kinds of lettering: printing and cursive. But I want to show you some tricks for other kinds of lettering that you might be able to use, and I'll show you some interesting ways to use them. But in case you wonder who I am, and want to know more about my work, you may know me from Dinotopia. This picture was the cover of a book about dinosaurs and people. And I want to talk about this kind of lettering style called Roman lettering, which I was thinking about when I was doing this painting. And let's start with a word that you may have heard a lot, or at least you've seen it, when you see Cuomo's presentations about coronavirus and how we're doing in New York State. And by the way, I'm in New York State too. So he would be my Governor Cuomo. The word is EXCELSIOR, and this is a state motto, EXCE. You may notice right away that this kind of lettering style is a little different from just plain printing. One of the ways it's different is that I'm using serifs, or kind of little feet on the letters, and they did this in the Roman period. And the other thing is that the downstrokes of the letter, the verticals, have two lines, and just the horizontal strokes have a single line. Now, what does Excelsior mean? You may have seen it in the background of those press conferences. It means ever upward. And I don't think they mean the graph of the coronavirus positive cases. I think it's a real hopeful idea of climbing a mountain ever toward the top, and hopefully getting to the top where you have a good view. There's a lot of other interesting state mottos, though, and I'll try to do another one in this kind of classic lettering style. There's one from Oklahoma called Labor Omnia Vincit. Now, labor, you probably can figure that one out pretty fast. That is work. So, as you can see, this part of the A has a single line, and the angle that goes off from the top down to the right has two lines. Now with the B, where it sticks out, you have two. This is the state motto of Oklahoma. It was always used in the 19th century, and they never officially adopted it actually, but it's listed in a lot of lists. Labor Omnia. I'm using chalk markers. That's why this is called a Chalk Talk. And I don't know if there's chalk in it, but the neat thing about these is that you can erase them if you want to after they dry. And so it's a lot like what they make those menus with in kind of cafes and things like that. Now there's that I should have two. And so as I go along here, each one of these letters has a serifs on the bottom. And Vincit, you might have remembered Vini Vidi Vinci, Caesar said, means victory. In fact, the word victory is made of a word based on that. A lot of our English words, a lot of French and Italian words are very close to their Latin ancestors. That's a good one. So it's hard work conquers all. It's actually hard work conquers all. Another one I like is post tenebris lux, which is the saying, after darkness there's light. That's actually Geneva, not a state motto of America. That's from Geneva, Switzerland. Okay, a lot of very lofty thoughts and a lot of inspiring Latin quotes. But while we're on the subject of lettering, let me focus on a fun one called bubble lettering. And this is where you take letters like this, pretend they're made out of some kind of rubber, and fill them full of air. And I'm going to write a word here. C. So it's sort of like a bagel. And you can make them overlap each other. CH, and H is like a little couple of balloon animals. CHI, chirk. CHI, now that's not a word that we've heard in a long time, but it used to be a word in English. Now you notice too that I have different heights of the letters, have one floating higher than another, as if these are balloons, and they're all hanging on strings or lifting up from strings at a different height. Now when you have an R, it's so puffed out like a bagel that all you have is a little star or bump in the middle. Okay, now let's see, chirk. Let's do the K. Now what does chirk mean? It sounds a little bit like cheer and perk. And what it means is cheerful. So chirk is what you want to be. It's an adjective. Around the house where everyone's getting gloomy and watching the news too much, be more chirk, and everyone else might chirk up a little bit. This was actually a word that fell out of usage a long time ago. Noah Webster himself wanted to see the word chirk used more often. To finish up here, I want to just remind you that I have model sheets for the whole alphabet in a Dropbox folder, and I'll put a link down in the description so you can just download that for free and try it out, print it out, and you can do cool lettering. And I want to thank the folks over at Chocola, here's what it looks like, marker company, who sent these as a sample, full disclosure, just to try out. I want to try out some other kinds of chalk markers, but the cool thing about these is that with a little bit of a wet rag, you can erase them, which means that you can draw on the windows with your parents' permission, and you can write chirky sorts of messages for everybody to kind of chirk folks up. Or you can write lofty state mottos for your state, and you can inspire people with that. So that gives us a start to surviving this strange time we're living in. For me, it's not that different, actually, because I work at home as a writer and an illustrator anyway. So this is kind of normal, but strange anyway for all of us. And I hope you're doing good, having fun, and don't forget to be chirk. Well, you've arrived at a point of decision. You can go to my website, or you can subscribe to my channel, or here's a video you might enjoy, and then there's a playlist with more like this one.